Tonight's topic is uncomfortable, but it's necessary. It concerns your spouse or significant other in the worst possible scenario, cheating. More to the point, is your spouse or significant other 100% responsible, not for the act of cheating or the choice to cheat, but the road that led them there? I want to say that again. Not for the choice to cheat, but the road that led them there. Why? Because it didn't start off that way. This is not going to be easy to hear, but every relationship has two architects. Two people are responsible for nurturing, caring, and contributing unselfishly when it comes to the other person's needs. And if one of you drops the ball, if you take your eyes off your prize, if you stop working to keep them by your side, they are going to start eventually kind of feeling away. And these are the feelings that lead them to crossing the line. And you are part owner of their feelings. Again, we're not making excuses for their choice. They made that choice, not you. But we have to be honest enough to examine the whole story, not just the final mistakes. Check out what a couple of people had to say when asked the question, when your spouse or significant other cheats, are they 100% responsible? We're here today with Silence of the Man, and I have one question for you. When a spouse cheats, is it all their fault?
No,
Why you say no?
because number one, it's not all their fault. Because if you take care of your spouse, that boss, that person will not go nowhere. Like, for example, if you keep working daily, you come home from work and you tired and you eat and you go and sleep and your spouse is waiting for you, what do you think will happen? But when I come home, the first thing I do, I say hi to my spouse. I eat, I do what I have to do, and I dedicate time for her. In other words, I give the kids them 20 hours, and the next 4 hours is for my wife. That's how I keep it going. Because if I don't give her no time, trust me, somebody else will find some time to give to her.
And how long have you been in a relationship?
42 years.
42 years.
Yes.
Same spouse?
Same spouse.
My man. Hey, what's up? We're here with Silence of the Man, and I have one question for you. When spouses cheat, is it all their fault?
15 years ago, I would have probably answered yeah, but however, now today, I think you have to, it's an invitation to reflect on you. What choices have you done for that distance to happen? And even if there was a breakdown in the relationship, you have to start with you. You have to understand, what did I do in this relationship? What was in my part that led to that distrust or that breakup, or to the breakdown in communication? Because here's the thing, right? Marriages, no matter, people say communication is important, but no, it's part of it, but it's reciprocation. Can you reciprocate? If I'm telling you over and over and over, you're doing something that's hurting and you're not getting that, that could push somebody away. You're not honoring my feelings. And at the same time with that, it's like, once again, it's a special invitation to look at yourself as a man of God and say, what did I do wrong? Where did I sway? Did I center my relationship or marriage on Christ? And there's two parties here, you know what I'm saying? It takes two to dance. And whether one was wrong, you have to come in accordance and have this covenant to have a conversation about it. But there's some people who are just in accordance that they just want to do what they want to do. They tired of the marriage. And that's when you have to, once again, have a self-reflection on yourself.
That's a good point, being tired of the marriage. Is that a personal choice on the spouse's side, or is that a decision that's jointly made on most cases?
It depends on the dynamic of the relationship. Depends what you allowed in the relationship to break down, right? Because some people, I love you so much, I will allow certain things that you continue to do to hurt me. Then after 10, 20 years, now I want to address it. And I was like, oh, now you want boundaries? Now you become difficult because you're trying to challenge or question something that has hurt me for years. And that's the challenge, because relationships are complex. I love you to the death of me, but then at the same time, I want to kill you in the same bedroom. That part, right?
I think you said it right there, bro.
Like I said, it's an invitation to you. If your car breaks down, what was you doing to keep the engine running? Facts.
Now, up to this point, we've spoken to two men, and the comments could be very biased when it comes to a woman. So rather than stick with male influencing on this very controversial subject matter, let's get a woman's opinion. I have one question for you. When a spouse cheats,
Yes.
is it all their fault?
I have a different view. I think when you're in a relationship or a marriage, and for any reason the communication break down, and a person decide to go out and cheat, is it's not really the other person's fault, but I feel that there should be a discussion, a communication as to why that other person had to go outside to cheat. So I don't think it's the other person's fault. I think it's a choice that the person decided to take, and I think that
Let me stop you there, because we're not talking about cheating. We're talking about what it took to get you there. Now, you was going right when you said a communication on the subject that's leading you in that direction.
Correct.
But ultimately, the decisions that are made in that relationship, doesn't that push you in that direction?
Yes, it could be, but then I think that the conversation has to happen as to why there was a breakdown there, right? Why the relationship, there's no lack of communication, I feel, is the issue, and why does that person? Because I think that it begins in the mind before the action takes place.
You're absolutely right.
So I think it's, if there's an open communication, I think everything can be avoided, not only for a sexual point of view, but in many cases, finances, the situation with kids, I think communication has to be the key, and accountability.
And what happens when that communication breaks down?
Well, it leads to other person making decisions that are not correct.
When you say other persons,
Yeah, well, it could be,
you're talking about
yeah.
The side chick.
other persons.
Yeah, I don't want to be too deep there, but yes, it usually happens with two parties, right? The party A and party B might have a lack of communication and decide to take actions, but you have to first have accountability. You have to have as well communication to see what broke down to the point where there's a situation in the relationship.
So it sounds like you're really pointing in the direction of it's not 100% their fault.
Exactly. It could be a number of issues. Because sometimes we communicate with our partners that, hey, I'm having issue with such thing, and then the other party you get ignored by the other party, right? So if there is a communication issue, things are going to come out of context.
So when that communication comes into play and you have to bring a third party in to kind of be the devil's advocate,
Okay.
is that where problems can come in?
Yes, because we when we have a third party and the person is not qualified to guide or bring together the couple as one, and that there be an understanding. If they're not coming to help, they only make the situation worse. And so we have to be always careful of who we're going to for help, because the person that we think might be able to help makes situation worse.
She said it all, y'all.
Yeah.
She said it all. Now that's a woman's point of view, and I have to agree with her 100%. When a spouse cheats, is it 100% their fault?
No, I don't think so, because there has to be a reason for the individual to turn from what he or she was experiencing in the relationship. So, relationship is a 50-50 partnership, and each individual have to uphold their end of that relationship. You know, there's no blame for one individual, because when two people decided to join together, they joined together to let it work. And in order for it to work, they had to understand each other. And even although sometimes, things happen where, one may have different ideas, so to speak, that does not give them the right to choose a path that they never agreed to in the first place.
Well, okay, so let me come on this side because I got a follow-up question on that. So we understand that they don't have the right to choose that path. I disagree. They do have the right to choose that path. They're 100% responsible for choosing that path, but that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the reasons they got there. The reasons they got there. See, between point A and point B, there had to be some things going on.
Yes.
And those are the things that got you to make that decision. So are you 100% responsible for those things?
Well, it all depends, because if your spouse give you a reason to step out of that commitment,
What kind of reason you thinking?
suppose that spouse cheat before you cheat, then automatically you'll wanna
Your feelings change.
yes, your feelings
hurt.
change, and at the same time, it's not like you wanna get even, but because you're so hurt by that what he or she has done, you believe that doing the same thing will give you some form of justification,
It's just a path down the wrong road.
and that's the part down the wrong road.
When a spouse cheats, are they 100% responsible for getting to that point?
Are they 100% responsible for getting to the point of cheating? No, I don't think they're 100% responsible for getting to the point of cheating.
Give me an example.
You can have an ongoing issue in the relationship where feelings aren't reciprocated, or you lack of understanding. Not saying it justifies the action of cheating. I don't
That
think,
decision is yours.
yeah, the decision
I ain't
of
talking
cheating
about
is
that,
solely yours.
but getting to that point.
But getting to that point, the waters can get real murky. Getting to that point, whereas the pathway to get there, I don't think is ever an easy one. I'm sure that there's a lot of signs, a lot of red flags or green flags, however you want to look at it, that'll get you there. So no, I don't think.
So you got to really read the lay of the land.
Correct.
How long you been in a relationship?
I've been married. Wow. My son is how old? 10, 11? Yeah, 11 years.
See, that's relationship advice that you can take. When a spouse cheats, are they 100% responsible for that?
When it comes to being responsible, I'm going to say yes, just because I feel like at the end of the day, can't nobody really control your actions other than you. You're the last deciding factor. However, is it 100% their fault? There might be like some other things that might have influenced that choice, whether it's environmental factors, generational curses that plagues everybody.
So you're going
in
to
the
come from a
family.
spiritual point of view.
Nah.
And I'm not disagreeing with you because everything is spiritual.
Yeah.
Attacks are attacks.
Yeah.
But when it comes down to being 100% responsible for cheating, are you not you, but is the spouse responsible for getting to that point? 100%. You got there by yourself. I didn't do nothing to help you. You on your own.
I don't think that you got there by yourself.
There
I
you
just
go.
think that you're the last deciding factor.
Yes.
Of you're gonna go.
Oh, I agree.
all
The
the way,
decision to cheat is 100%
Yeah.
yours.
Yeah.
But you didn't get there by yourself.
Not always.
Not always.
Nah.
What's the alternate?
I think some people come in with some disciplinary issues, already.
Okay. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I personally know some people who just feel like, hey, this is me. I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do.
I like that. I like that.
So, yeah.
You're probably one of the first people who came from that point of view. And you're absolutely right. Some people come in and they just,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? They just, and that's just how they roll. But at the end of the day, I agree. You are 100% responsible for your decisions in
Yeah.
that relationship.
Yeah.
And I also agree, everything is a spiritual attack. You just got to recognize the attack. So there you have it. Accepting your part does not mean you excuse the behavior of your spouse or significant other. It means you accept your role that led to it. Accepting that you just didn't feel like talking to them after you got home from work. And you communicate that poorly. Maybe your affection dried up. Maybe your respect faded. Maybe intimacy happened on your schedule with no consideration for their wants or desires. Before a person cheats, something changes in that relationship. You no longer have sex as often as you used to. You no longer go out as often as you used to. You can't agree to disagree. And the list, it just goes on and on. The solution is to communicate and come to an agreement as to how to move forward. And once an agreement has been reached, you are obligated to hold your side of the agreement and revisit that talk table again and again until you are back on solid ground. Now, we can't leave this conversation without looking at the other side of the coin. Cheating is a bad choice. Cheating is a reaction, not a solution. It's a response to unmet needs, unspoken frustrations, or unresolved conversation. It's a shortcut that leads nowhere. It doesn't heal the wound, it doesn't fix the disconnection, and it doesn't silence the pain. It magnifies it. Cheating doesn't just break the person who was betrayed, it breaks the betrayer in ways people don't always talk about. The damage hits their mind, their identity, their peace, and their future relationships. The damage reaches far beyond the moment of the act, and you will also feel the pain and regret for years to come. And life will never be the same again. Your pain will not go away. Every time you look at yourself in the mirror, every time you look into the eyes of your spouse, you will be reminded of what you did. The act may be forgiven, but it will never be forgotten. Now, I know you've heard all this before, so I'm going to give you something new to consider. If you really love the person, if she or he is the one, and you let them slip away, that's the moment you stop arguing with the world and start telling the truth to yourself and recognize that you admit you let something slip away. The conversation shifts from blame to responsibility, from excuses to ownership, from what happened to what you did. The weight of knowing you didn't lose them, you let them go. Not intentionally, not maliciously, but through neglect, distraction, pride, inconsistency, or silence. That's the kind of truth that doesn't just sit on your chest, it reshapes you. Because once you admit you let something sacred fall from your fingers, you can't go back to being the same person. You either grow or you repeat the same mistake over and over again. And once all is said and done, you end up being a lonely, sad, unwanted human being. You won't be happy with yourself, and no one will be happy with you. So if you notice a change in your spouse, sit down, talk about it. Be willing to accept the things that they have a problem with and come up with a solution together. Remember to finesse, love, honor, and protect your spouse's feelings, because what comes next is just the cause and effect of being so blessed with the one you love.